This video will show you how to replace the ignition coil on a GMC Sierra with a 6-liter engine. This will be located along either side of your engine. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. To gain access, let's remove our upper engine cover first. Now this is just a plastic cover. Take hold of it and gently lift straight up. Now once I have the forward side lifted up, I'm going to pull it straight out and away. Has a small hinged joint along the back side there. We should be able to slide that out of place. Now that I have the cover out of the way, we're going to start with the passenger side front ignition coil. To be able to do this, we have to remove our bracket. Once you have the bracket out of position, the process will be the same for all other ignition coils. Let's take hold of our two coolant hoses. You should be able to lift those up and out of the bracket, slide those out of position. Just double check to make sure they're still soft and pliable and they're not torn, worn, or damaged in any way. I'm going to lift them up and over my transmission dipstick tube just so we have clear access. Now we can remove the bracket. It's held in place with a 10mm mounting nut. Remove that mounting nut and the bracket. With that bracket out of the way, the process will be the exact same thing for all other ignition coils at this point. For each ignition coil, go ahead and make your way along the top. It has an electrical connector. The electrical connector has a locking tab typically along the forward side, so I'm just going to make my way underneath it with my index finger and gently lift it up and out of position. There's the locking tab, just flexed it a little bit. A quick inspection for corrosion, of course. This looks good, so we'll set it aside. Now looking along the bottom of the ignition coil, you're going to find your spark plug wire. For each one of your spark plug wires, typically you just give them a slight twist to dislodge them and pull them out of place. No corrosion there. At this point, we have two 10mm bolts holding this in place to the ignition coil mounting bracket. There it is, friend. Prior to installation of any brand new part, of course, we need to make sure we clean and inspect our mounting area. We'll inspect our coil bracket. Just make sure it's not rotted or weak in any way. This feels good. We've already inspected our ignition coil wiring harness and our spark plug wire, so let's continue on with the installation. When we go to install our brand new ignition coil, we need to make sure we have it in the proper orientation, so our electrical connector is facing up. We'll bring this over so it's close to being in the proper position. While holding it there, we can start in each of our two mounting bolts. After you have them both started in, go ahead and snug them up and then torque those to 89 inch-pounds. Now as far as our spark plug wire, it's a good idea to give it a quick wipe, and we're going to add some dielectric lubricant. You don't need very much, just enough to lubricate it so we can slide it into place. We'll bring this along the bottom of the ignition coil. We're pressing up as far as possible. You can hear an audible click. Go ahead and give it a tug to make sure it's secured. We do not want this falling off while we're driving down the road, in which case you're going to have a misfire condition. Let's continue on to our electrical connector along the top. Press it on there as far as possible. We'll give it a light tug, confirming that's secured as well. Now, as I mentioned, the process will be the same for all other ignition coils. I'm going to continue on to installing my coolant hose bracket next. Now, when you look at the ignition coil bracket, you're going to find that it has the port for the stud to slide up through, but it also has one locating tab. That locating tab will slide underneath our ignition coil bracket. Let's be careful not to cause any damage to our electrical wiring harness here as we continue on, so I'm just going to lift that up and out of my way. We can rest this down. I'm turning this clockwise. It's latched in. Let's go ahead and start on that mounting nut and snug it up. Still on there. I'll torque that to 89 inch-pounds as well. And of course, we'll reinstall each one of our 2 coolant hoses into their proper positioning. Double check to make sure those are secured. If they're loose for any reason, you can use a wire tie as necessary. Now the next thing we'll do is reinstall our plastic engine cover. When installing this, let's have a quick look along the bottom. If you are looking along the bottom of the engine cover, you're going to find 2 rubber grommets, and along the back side you have locating tabs for that hinged joint. Looking at the engine itself, along the top of the intake, we have 2 studs for those rubber grommets, and all the way along the back you can see those 2 hooked ears. Let's go ahead and start getting this in position. We're starting along the back side, and we'll roll it down along the forward side. Line it up. Just a couple light taps there. Double check to make sure it's secured so it does not come loose on you while you're driving down the road.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.